Hello, I am Chris Grimm, and this is my print reference collection vodcast. My experience was in LaGrange, Kentucky, at LaGrange Elementary School, a school that is made up of 20% ELL students, mostly who speak Spanish. This was an important consideration as I built my reference collection. In my field experience, I noticed that the dictionaries were very out of date and there weren't that many of them available for the size school it was. I decided to enhance this by looking at adding the Oxford Illustrated Children's Dictionary to the collection, as well as the American Heritage Children's Dictionary. I chose both of these because of their colorful and engaging format, their updated information, and the fact that I thought they could be accessed by both struggling readers, ELL students, and the more advanced reader. I know from my experience how much the students enjoy looking at the almanacs and getting the information from the colorful pictures and the graphs and things that are detailed inside of them. National Geographic has a strong reputation for creating high quality reference materials, which is why I chose this almanac. I also went with the World Almanac because of the interactive feature it has, in that you can get on the internet and find more information about the stories and the pictures and things that they have listed in this almanac for 2014. The library I was in didn't really have handbooks per se. They had books that were similar to this one, but they would be found more in the craft section of the 700s. So I chose this one because I felt that it would be of high interest, and yet the format was written more like a handbook. And there were some unique features like how to make your own snowshoes, things that I thought the kids would really enjoy learning about. I also included the Kids Inventing Handbook. It's really difficult to find many invention handbooks, and it is part of the curriculum for fourth and fifth grade. So this one struck my interest. I like that it showed girls and boys doing science-based activities. And again, when you have such a wide range of ages from kindergarten to fifth grade, factor in ELL students, and then the various levels of reading, it's really important to find engaging material that they can relate to, whether it's through the text, through the graphic information, or through the photographs. And I thought all of these were engaging materials for that purpose. Probably one of the areas where I observed the most inquiry process in action was in the biography section. It got a lot of circulation in the hours I was there observing. So I looked at some new biographies to me and found this one about Hillary Rodham Clinton, which is very apropos with the upcoming election. And I thought that it was nice to have diversity in seeing a female who is a powerful world leader, and that the girls would be able to identify with that. This book is not even released yet. It actually is coming out in 2016, so that is something to look forward to. And I was also impressed by this biography by Walter Dean Myers. He's a very reputable civil rights author. This particular biography is more of a picture book geared for younger students. There's not a lot of text, but it has some pretty powerful illustrations, and the children will be able to get a sense of what is going on in Ida B's life. Through the illustrations, his text is very powerful. Some of the words are put in red that are actually quotes from Ida B. Wells, and I thought that that was sort of an empowering thing for children to see too. The encyclopedias were another weak area in this particular library's reference collection. They were very outdated. One set was in the 1990s and one was in the early 2000s. So I looked at both of these. I tried to find an intermediate and an elementary. This Discovery Encyclopedia is for the younger students. It has more minimal text, lots of other visual inferences they can take, such as graphs, maps, pictures. This one, the Kingfisher Children's Encyclopedia, is geared for children grades 3rd through 6th. So that way we have a diverse collection in that there are reference materials for children to use of all ages to begin the inquiry process um, with a suitable, fairly solid encyclopedia set that's also new and updated. The atlases were something else I noticed that the children really enjoyed taking home. They were pretty ratty and pretty worn down, so that is something I would like to replace. I thought this Atlas of First was really interesting. It's all about the first significant things that happened, beginning with when the Earth was first created. So I thought the scientific material in that would appeal to a lot of different learners. And again, you can tell from the cover the illustrations and the colors, they're all very engaging, so it would stimulate a visual learner as well as one who can actually read the text. The second atlas I chose was another Nat Geo, the National Geographic World Atlas for Young Explorers. I chose this one because I know that Nat Geo does a great job as far as being reputable and engaging to students to read. This particular atlas is actually geared towards the upper elementary school children, ages 4th grade and up. But again, it has the engaging illustrations, maps, charts, pictures that I thought all the students would enjoy looking at. So this library didn't really have any collections of bibliographies. So I sort of struggled with what to put in here if I were going to start from the beginning. And I went with the Appalachian Children's Literature Annotated Bibliography. I liked the diversity it offered. It includes, I think, 4,000 titles, and because it geographically relates to Kentucky, I thought it would be an appropriate source to have for teachers and librarians to look at. I also went with the bilingual children's books in English and Spanish, again, because this school has a pretty significant group of Spanish learners, and this has, I believe, 300 annotated titles that are available in both English and Spanish. It seemed to me like a perfect resource to put into this library. Because there aren't too many annotated, well, not any, annotated bibliographies in this reference collection, I chose to add one more as my extra book to include, and I chose one called Picturing the World, an informational picture book for children. And so this is an annotated bibliography of 300 titles that are appropriate informational resources for young children. So this concludes my podcast. Thank you very much for listening.